Alrighty, we have another weekly recap. No, that's cap. We have a weekly outlook. This is, I think I'd say the last week of the year. No, I'm like trading week. I'm just gonna grab the next 2 weeks here. And then looking at this week, right? Okay, so this week, I think the way I see it, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are potentially trade days. And then obviously Thursday is Christmas, Friday is also kind of Christmas still, and it's a Friday with no news after bank holiday and stuff. So I think we can expect super low volume, essentially probably starting sometime Wednesday, maybe Wednesday PM to end a week. But before then, I think this week has some valid days. And then next week, I'd honestly be open to also just fucking like taking the week off, to be honest. Yeah, it's definitely something I'll consider, but I'll probably decide that by the time I do a recap. For this week, right? So by next weekend, I'll see what I'm feeling there. So yeah, as I mentioned, this week we have no news Monday. There's also no pound or euro news. I did kind of just filter them out here because all there is like a fucking shit ton of bank holidays for every like EU country lined up on like 24th, 25th, 26th. So it's just crowding the week here. So just remove them. But there's also no red folders at all for pound or euro. And we do have a red folder on Tuesday for dollar and on Wednesday as well. And like I said, I think this week definitely like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly trade days. And then Thursday, Friday, I'd not want to engage personally. Yeah, let's head right into the charts. I am a little late on this. It's already Monday morning. London has already passed, right? It's 5 a.m. New York time here. On this Monday morning. Yeah, so we are already trading. We have this weekly gap on dollar. I'd say I could see us reach up into that weekly gap and then go lower. I am still bearish on dollar, right? I'm holding on to that bearish bias. If we drop to the daily chart, now if we only look at dollar, this doesn't look that great for like shorts from here, right? Because we closed above this daily gap in here and we never even reached into this one. And obviously, as you can see right now, we are kind of selling off to start the week. Yeah, I mean, we can see what we do in this volume imbalance here, but overall, like my outlook for dollar is I'm bearish and I might want to see that weekly gap hold. Not that weekly gap hold, but that weekly gap traded to and then continue lower. But at the same time, if we start getting displacement lower without reaching the weekly gap, then, I'm willing to see that as a breakaway gap. But overall, I'm just bearish on dollar. Potentially, I guess previous week low would be a good draw here because like there's not, like last week going into the week, we had like this swing low down here as like a nice draw. You could argue this could be the next one, but it's so far away. I don't see us doing that this week, just because I feel like at least in the second half of the week, the volatility is going to be super low. So we kind of got to taper our expectations when it comes to like how big of a move we're going to get. But yeah, that's overall what I'm looking for there. And then same thing on euro, right? We actually have a nicer weekly gap, but that could also stay open. Because on euro, we do also have a bullish setup running at the moment, right? We have this daily gap here, which is tapped here the first time. So up here's the external, right? We have daily external here for that. And on this weekly gap tag, we have SMT here, daily SMT when Friday runs below this low here, right? Bang. And then we have a hourly setup actually in price right now. Like I'm not in price, but like I'm in a trade as we speak. We have SMT here, right, with pound, and then we have a order block. Wait, let me use a square. We have a order block here. So yeah, and I think 2R is like somewhat close already because the order block is like pretty tight. Pause. Or not pause, but you know what I'm saying? Not like that. There we are. 2R. Right here. Why did that delete the fucking thing? Bring that back. Anyway, I'm not looking to do like a live trade watching session here. I just want to mark this out while I'm already here. So anyway, this is kind of what Euro's doing, and that's also why I say I could potentially see us not reach into the weekly gap. Because like from the perspective of I'm in the hourly trade off this daily gap, I'd want to see price run higher, right? That's the framework for the trade. And if we drop to the weekly gap, obviously that wouldn't allow that to happen. I mean, we could potentially run like TP and then fold lower. Like I guess that'd be even better, and then run into here and get a 4-hour setup again. Same kind of idea going on into this high. That would be peak, but you know what I'm saying? I could see both alternatives, but again, overall, I am bullish on Euro, and then Pound does not have a weekly gap. Pound does not have like a valid daily gap, but Pound is also bullish in my opinion, and at the moment also more bullish than Euro, and we have all these nice buy-side pools lined up, I think, for Pound to come take maybe this week. I'd like to say this dotted line should be the draw at the minimum, but I could also see us actually run up into the buy-side right here. This is buy-side that Euro and like dollar respectively have already taken. But yeah, I think like a six sister approach, not SMT approach. So just Pound being slower to get there and not Pound not getting there, and then us reversing from here. I think the idea that Pound is just being a little weaker than the other two is the better idea here. Yeah, so moving on, we have indices. Now indices, we had a nice retracement last week, and I think we are straight up bullish again, right? How much do I really think is going to necessarily happen on indices? Like, I think indices probably are a little more affected by like end of year volatility loss than the majors potentially. I mean, let me just quickly do a check back here. What was this looking like? Okay, so last year we had pretty volatile, like late December candles. This is like the most ragtag freaking check back ever. The year before that too, okay. So maybe never mind, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's actually not the case. Anyway, overall, I think I'm bullish, or not, I am bullish on NQ. I think that all of these equalish highs that we stacked below this unfilled gap, I mean, you know, you could not be more suspect than those, in my opinion. Peak scenario is we form a daily gap here, and then we get a retrace, and then we get a setup, and we can long towards those daily highs. Realistic scenario, low key kind of for NQ at this point is just we just run higher and there's no retrace, and yeah, it's not like a tradable move, but it's gonna be a clean move higher. That would be understandable. And then on ES, I think if we do what I think we're gonna do on NQ, I think that'll put us at all-time highs on ES going into the end of the year. So that will also be pretty interesting, I guess. And then moving on quickly, silver and gold. Why do I say quickly? Because I think there's not much to be said, and I don't think we're going to get anything here. Obviously, silver is super bullish, and then gold is also bullish, just like slightly less enthusiastic about it. We have a bunch of weekly gaps below on silver. I don't see any of them getting filled, right? Now going into this week, I'd say, okay, I'm bullish, and I want to see the weekly gap tagged on silver potentially. Now we already have a run higher. Actually, no, I don't. Anyway, I don't think it would. Now I'm looking at this like this. Anyway, now I already do have a little bit of intel right with Monday with this explosive move higher. What do I think for the week? I think we're just bullish, right? No reason not to be, even though we did just hit a high time frame target on gold. I think silver is just gonna ripstick. And I think the only real option for us to find a trade is potentially a daily gap here on silver, right? Or a fresh one to form, and then we use that. And that's really all that I can think of potentially for metals. So yeah, that's the outlook. Let us all hope that euro cooks up for us here. Potentially the last trade of the year. We'll see. But it's a pretty ugly one. But you know, sometimes you gotta, like, it's ugly delivery here in the order block, but sometimes that potentially won't matter. So yeah, man, this is what we're looking for, looking past and stuff. So yeah, that's what we're expecting for the